It's 6:45 p.m., February 19, 2020. I call this meeting of the Cachos Independent School District to order. Roll call.
All right, President Fernando Torres,
Present.
Vice President Chris Morales here, Trustee Juan Jose Ibarra,
Here.
Trustee Bobby Peacock, Trustee Rolando Lozano,
Here.
Trustee Tony Barco,
Here.
Trustee Robert Smalsbury. Mr. Board President, we have a quorum.
Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Mr. Morales, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for this opportunity to be here all gathered here in your precious and mighty name. Heavenly Father, tonight we just ask you to continue to guide Dr. Rivera and our Board of Trustees, fill them with the wisdom and the knowledge that they need as they carry out their heavy responsibility of making critical decisions for our district. We ask that you bless them and bless their families tonight. We ask you to also bless our counselors who will be recognized tonight and all the people that are here. And we thank you once again, Heavenly Father, for the continuous blessings from our district. And we pray all of this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, we have comments from the public. I see that we have,
No.
none? Okay. Special recognition. Mrs. Rocha. Ms. Rocha. Go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the education, personal and social growth for their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that help enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive development school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success. Therefore, I, Armando Torres, do hereby proclaim February 3rd through the 7th, 2020 as National School Counselors Week.
We're going to call out everybody's certificate. We have several that are sick. They have the flu. They couldn't come into work. Somebody got their car hit at the high school. We have several, and they all called in. They said they were very sorry they weren't here, but they're looking beautiful. So we'll call out their names and we'll make sure that they get their certificate. Let me give you this so you can call. You can give it to me. Yeah.
Ms. Bea Ortiz.
That's 85. The certificate awarded to Melissa Casanova.
Yes.
Next, we have Lee Pasi. One, two, and come on.
Gloria Ismaelis. We've done this before.
One, two, and one.
Miss Florita, ¿el solo?
Oh, she's not here. Yes, but there's no problem.
Miss Kathy Lara.
She's another one.
Marilena Rodriguez.
Next, we have Ms. Jennifer Gomez.
She's not here.
Are you gonna take my picture twice?
Diaz Gomez.
One, two, and almost.
Who are we doing? Are we doing this one? Mary? Ready?
Oh, I see. She's trying to. She's looking out.
Mr. Mira Perez.
Three, one, and one.
Miss Erica Bangula.
Three, one,
Martha Ford.
next, we have Ms. Vanessa Guerra. Three, one.
Ms. Ed Gonzalez, she's gonna be here. She's got the flu, right? And Ms. Lupita Tijerina. Yes, she's gonna be here. Okay. Are we missing anybody? The city, the city.
Three, one, two, one.
You want to come this way? Well, you can't. Small gold,
Ready? One, two, and smile. One more. Three, one, two, and
Come on. Ready, 1, 2, and we got it. We got it.
There you go.
Legally, the only city in the valley. Pablo, I miss you.
All right, we're going to go on now to 5, superintendent's report. Doctor?
Yes.
Mucho asco por ahí.
I have 15 slides. On page 1, let me start with the enrollment. And as you can see from this page, compared to last year, the high schools and the elementaries were at a minus 117. So total compared to last year at the same time, we're a minus 117. But we're ahead on the pre-K 3 and 4. We're at plus 127, and then kinder plus 15. Head Start a little lower. So district-wide, we're at a plus 2. We're working very hard in the enrollment, and again, it's one of our priorities. On page 2, this is the average daily attendance report, and the district is funded from TA on this report. And we take the best 4-6 weeks. Our budget this year was set on 4,376 students. And if you compare 18, 19, and 20, you can see how the budget has gone down with the enrollment from 4,892, and then last year 4,501, and this year we're 4,376. But the good news is that during the 4 weeks, we're about 100 students higher than what we have budgeted. So by being higher, it means additional revenues at the end of the year, about $600,000 more dollars coming in. And then for next year, you can see that the budget will be based again on the same 4,376. We're gaining 100, but we hope we don't lose 100.
Right.
So we're being conservative, and we can change this figure in the summer as we go along and see what kind of figures we have. So again, additional money is coming into the district. On page 3, we're happy to report this is one of the priorities the board had, the dinner program. And what we did, we submitted an application, and we started the program this past week, and Regional 1 helped us with the waiver. So, but the dinner program has to require that we service students where we have educational programs such as tutorials, instruction, extracurricular activities. The program is running from 3:45 to 5 in the elementaries up to 6:30 to the high schools. We've had this 2 days. On the first day, we served 625 meals. On day 2, 825. The goal that we have is 1,000 meals. The dinner is available right now at all the schools except Gutierrez Early Childhood, because we don't have a after-school program. But with a plan, and the parents will be notified that even though there's no program there, their kids can go over and eat dinner at RCR, which is next door. And the cafeteria department will purchase the food and be reimbursed. The district had not applied for this program because the SFE contract did not include it. So at tonight's board meeting, for action, we're going to ask the board for us to be able to solicit proposals for a food service management company to oversee the child nutrition program, that will include a dinner program. Again, SFE cannot do this right now because we cannot make modifications to their contract. We're very happy with SFE, but they cannot provide this one because they can't modify the contract. So again, tonight, you'll advise us to go ahead and solicit proposals. That will include a dinner program at tonight's meeting.
Real quick, Doc, thank you, thank the administration, and I want to thank the Child Nutrition Department as well, Elena, her staff, Cynthia, SFE. I know it was a conjoint effort. Thank y'all for making this happen. It's something that was very important to the entire board here, and I just want to, on behalf of the school board, on behalf of the board and the community, thank y'all for all your efforts in this endeavor.
Thank you. The parents are very happy, the kids are
Yes.
very happy.
Yeah.
and
Thank
so
you.
Thank you. Thank you again to the board for bringing this to our attention. On page 4, we only have one picture right now, but you see the kids out here eating their dinner on page 4. And again, our goal is 1,000 kids dinners to be served.
Well, and the numbers are going to go. I was told the numbers are going to go up. I mean, obviously there was some benchmarking going on this week,
Yes.
so the numbers, because of that, I was told were a little bit lower than expected. So,
Yes.
awesome. Thank y'all.
On page 5, the board also had a good idea, Mr. Ibarra, about doing this project, and we have the Edcouch Chelsea ISD Learning Center, and here's a picture of what the front building looks like. And on page 6, we have some of the information. And now for 2 weeks, we've done this, and the program is available right now for grades 1 through 5, services Monday through Wednesday. Again, dinner will be served, and you can see week 1, we had 68 students there. Week 2, 101. We have teachers and paras and security guards at the facility. Future plans, as we study this, we're going to look for maybe some of the parents can be involved in sewing classes, nutrition classes, professional development. And then Ibarra, we're looking at having Ibarra on Thursday. Since we go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday elementary, on Thursday, we want to go ahead and have Ibarra out there. We're also looking at the high school recovery, credit recovery also. So a good plan for this facility. Awesome. On page 7, one of the board told us some of the things they wanted for us to look at was to add folklorico at Truan and Ibarra, and we're doing that. Right now we have it in grade 6, 7, 8, and we added this to Truan and Ibarra combined, and presently we have 35 students, and then the plan for next year is to go ahead and extend to the high school. Very, very popular program. On page 8, also one of the items the board wanted to look at was after the June rain, we had a big flood. So we have 2 options. On page 8, you can see the drainage ditch that extends from Yellow Jacket Drive all the way to 1015. And this area, I was not here during the June rains, but they tell me that this drainage was full to capacity, overflowing. And the project here, working with the county and working with Mr. Salinas, the engineer, is to perhaps widen the ditch or make it deeper. So that's the project right now. We gave this project to Mr. Salinas, and he's working on it with the county. And on page 8 is the information again to widen it or to go deeper. A second option is to build in a new retention pond behind the maintenance department and run new pipes. And right now we're working with the county and perhaps with the city, because the county told us that they would provide the labor and we provide the equipment. So right now we're depending on the county to come back to us and say, we can do this work for you, and then I'll come back to the board with an agreement. On Mr. Salinas, as you're aware, he's done some projects in the districts, but I met with him and I told him, as soon as you start widening the ditch or going deeper, we're going to go ahead and reimburse you for the work that you've done. And also there's 3 projects that he was doing before I came over here. He was working on the bus barn pavement, the ag barn and walking trail. There was no board authorization for him, but he's done this. So what I'm working with him is maybe giving him a partial payment for this work he's done, but not the complete payment until we go back and do these projects. But he did a lot of the work. So again, I'll come back to you to see what we're going to reimburse him for these projects he did. On page 10, this is part of consent agenda. Happy to report. This is our budget, our functions, and right now, through the first, I guess, 6 months, we have our surplus right now. Money's coming in, money spent, almost $4 million. So the goal that we have is to have a balanced budget by August the 31st, and then whatever money is left over would be the fund balance for this particular year. And we're looking at all the functions, and again, I'm happy to report that as of right now, we're almost $4 million compared to, again, money's coming in and money spent. So we're on target here. The goal, again, is a balanced budget. On page 11, the board also asked us to look at the SHARS report. And what the SHARS is Medicaid services provided by two school districts for those that are Medicaid eligible students. And there are many areas that we can be reimbursed if we are able to provide our staff or contract out. And some of these are the hearing, counseling, nursing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician, psychological, speech, personal care, transportation. And approximately right now, 85% of all our special needs students are Medicare eligible. And again, we receive a reimbursable percentage based on the salary if these services are given to these students through our staff or contracted. And you can see the last bullet, for the last 4 years, we have received the following reimbursements from the program from 796 and 15, and you can see for the last 4 years what we have received. On page 12 gives you more information. During the school year, the district submits the billing to Medicare, and at the end of the year, we submit the final billing, and providers hired under contracted services are the ones that I mentioned earlier: occupational, physical, speech. And earlier in the school year, the board authorized us to go out there for proposals for a third-party administrator, and we're going to do this in the month of April. I'm happy to report that Mr. Riojas has been helping me with this project, and so far he's identified an additional $25,000 on some of the areas that we were not submitting the required paperwork. And he's also going to be helping me again if we can find additional monies. The more monies we find, the better it is for this money. And the last bullet, from the SHARS money, we can use this not only for special ed, also for local needs. On page 13, the board also asked us, the board president asked us to look at textbooks. There were some textbooks at Ibarra Middle School that were not being utilized. So I had Mr. Riojas help me with this project, and he identified in that facility we had about 16,000 textbooks, and most of these were middle school and high school. About 12,000 are not in adoption. There are about 4,000 that are current in adoption, and the books that are there range from 1998 to the present. Some textbooks were never distributed. We collected out of adoption textbooks, and they were never eliminated and remained in inventory. So for the past 2 years, Ibarra has served as a storage or the surplus for all the books in the district. As to what we're going to be doing, action plan, we're going to have the textbooks in adoption will be sent to campuses. The out of adoption textbooks, the ones that are no longer out of adoption, we're going to offer these free to our teachers, students who may want to use them for resources. And whatever's left over, we're going to recycle these. The plan that we have is to purchase only what we need and make sure that the elementary textbooks are mostly consumable and need to be ordered on a yearly basis. So again, we've done, Mr. Riojas has helped me on this project, and Mary Gonzalez has been instrumental also in helping us out. The board has asked me to do some dedications for these 3 facilities, and I'll just wait for you all to tell me as to what dates dates you want to have the Richard Hensey Technology Center, the Ag Barn, and the EID Learning Center. So I'll get together with the board president and see what dates you all want to have these dedications between now and the end of the year. The last slide that I have, we're very proud of our students. We have so many students that excel. And I'll start with the mariachis. And they were awarded first place for 3 years in a row in state competition. Estudiantina, they received a Division I for 6 years in a row. Our band percussion participated. They were awarded first place. The Golden Guard also participated a third place. They advanced to state competition. The girls basketball team, for the first time in 4 years, they made the playoffs as the 4th seed. Very proud of the GT students. Our 5th grade GT students competed at the Region 1 Team Quest competition. They competed in math, science, engineering, technology, art, trivia, creativity. Proud to report that LBJ placed first of all the Region 1 schools. RCR placed 3rd and Garcia 5th. Proud on the debate team from the high school. They won the district title.
Yep.
Our wrestling team clinched first place in the first time in history. They had 13 regional qualifiers, and the girls also had 4 regional qualifiers. We're very proud of the students, and they're going to be recognized in May during the Night of Champions. We also have on your desk, you have the pictures of these students. You have on this one. And we're going to, on the monitor during the weekend, I think it's on Sunday, we're going to have an ad in the paper. And you can see the first one is the Mariachis, Estudiantina. On page 2, we have the GT, RCR, and LBJ. On page 3, GT Garcia, the percussion. The next page, debate and color guard. And in the last page, the girls basketball and wrestling team. Very proud of these students. Again, we're going to recognize them in May, and they'll be in the paper on Sunday. So great job to all of these. Our students excelled. This is my report, Mr. President. Any questions on any of these slides?
No. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, number 6, consent agenda items. Any questions on consent agenda items?
On the finance report or pay, it's item C. I just have one question on payment, current bills. Doc, there's items that are under temporary teacher charge, and there's 3 of them. One's for $82,000, another one's for $89,000, and another one for $73,000.
Substitutes.
And that's per month or? See, and this is something that we kind of discussed in the past where can we do any type of incentive? Because I know they do it in different districts where this money could be going to our staff. And it's a win-win. You know, you have teachers in the classroom, you've got instruction, quality instruction happening, and at the same time we're rewarding our teachers for being in the classroom. It just seems like it's a little over, you know, it's happening too much where, you know, I understand that every now and then we as teachers have to be out, but every time we're out, students are the ones that are directly affected.
You're right on target. Ms. Chapa is studying this to come up with a plan. A lot of these.
We need to work on something like that, because I'd rather bring in this money instead of paying it out. I mean, this is just 3 months. I can just imagine.
I'm with you.
And it's a concern. I saw it and I was like, these are big ticket items.
And we average about $1 million a year that we pay out every year consistently for
But
us.
this year, I think it's a little bit less than last year. We're working on this. A big problem we have is that there are a lot of trips that we have, out-of-valley trips where you have the sponsors going, and then we've had staff development. We're going to reduce staff development for next year. So a lot of this is staff development and trips with students. But you're right, we are working on a plan to go ahead and come up with a plan to be able to pay our employees, those that have the perfect attendance.
That's what he did.
But the plan is there. We're working on it.
Okay.
All right, if nobody else has any questions or wants to remove an item, I'd like to make a motion to approve all consent agenda items as presented.
Second?
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Number 7, discussion and action items. A, discussion and possible action to allow maintenance department to purchase and install AC units for the mini gyms at LBJ, JFK, and Garcia Elementary. Doctor?
Yes, if you can look on your backup on page 190.
We're back.
You back?
We're back.
Nay.
Just me.
Just nay.
Two quotes.
We have two quotes to do this. And one is Johnson Supply, and the amount is $29,913. And then Johnson, the first one is John Stone, and the second one is Johnson Supply for $33. And Mr. Rudy is recommending the first one, the one for $29,000. So that's the recommendation. Now, what I don't know if Rudy's here or not.
He's
but-
right here, Doc,
okay,
I see him.
There's two things that he's going to do. He's gonna get the equipment, and he's going to install it. But he's gonna go out there and get some proposals for someone to do the installation. Installation on the gyms. Yeah, and the electricity. So he's doing all the work, but he's gonna go ahead and have these two firms do this kind of work.
Sound like it's all.
So it saves a lot of money for us instead of contracting out
Some of the work.
and to do it in-house.
And how many gyms is this? for?
3.
3 of them? What
Three elementary gyms.
Which campuses is it?
LBJ, Kennedy, and Garcia.
Units are exactly the same?
No, sir, I'm using package units instead of the split systems.
No, but I'm talking about the two quotes that came in, they were comparable,
Oh, yes, they're both the
so
same.
everything is just, your recommendation is based on price.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Ibarra, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
No,
Go to 7B now. Discussion and possible action to seek proposals for fencing project and ranking criteria for Ibarra Middle School, Fine Arts, and High School K building, Delta Mercado. Doctor?
On your table, you have the ranking criteria, 100 points. Okay, so we're asking the board to approve, first of all, to approve for us to go out there for proposals, and then to approve the criteria for us to rank them, and we'll come back to the board with a recommendation to them, we rank them to the board.
So moved.
Second.
There is a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes based on the doctor's recommendation.
Will be the same thing for C, no?
C, discussion and action to seek proposals and ranking criteria for the front entrance canopy at RCR Elementary.
The same thing here, you have the ranking criteria. We're asking the board to go ahead and approve the criteria, and then for us to go to proposals, to be able to come to you and see who submitted what. We've got the specifications, and then have the board approve a firm to do the canopy at RCR.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Ibarra, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. E, discussion and action to approve change orders for the ag facility project to include additional costs for the project management, restart up costs.
D, no?
I'm sorry, D. Going back, D, discussion of action, possible action to change the regular March meeting schedule from March 18th to Wednesday, March 25th due to spring break week.
We want to go 1 week further, because the key here is going to be the turf and the track proposals. So they can't, according to Mr. Figueroa, they can't come any earlier than March 18th, the week before spring break. So after spring break, he can get the information ready for us to approve a firm. So we're asking for this date to have the regular March board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Ibarra. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. E, discussion and possible action to approve change order for the ag facility project to include additional costs for the project management restart of cost of bonding, insurance, mobilization, and approved payment to the Science Brothers for $101,188.59 for this change order. Ms. Garza.
Good evening, Board. We met with Mr. Sines from Sines Brothers on the remaining amount that they say we owe them. So some of the things that we discovered, there's the copies in a red folder. If you want to go into the second page where we have a breakdown of the change order. The original contract for the project management included $192,638. At the end of the first contract, we had paid $125,214.70. The remaining balance was $67,000. From when we started the second contract, they added an additional $40,000 to that $67 to make it a total of $107,000 for the project management alone. And then the bonding and insurance, also they had a remaining balance, but they added an additional $20 for the new second contract that they received. Excuse me. Mobilization, we did end up paying the whole cost of it, but they did add an additional $45,000 for having to bring back all the equipment and remobilize for the second contract. So the bonding and insurance and the mobilization are justified, but my only question would be on the project management. They weren't very clear as to why they were adding additional $40,000, but they did say that they incurred additional cost managing the project.
This was when it stopped for that period of time.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yes.
It's when it stopped because of the funding issue, and then we had to come back?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. So they added these costs that that they incurred.
So, for all intents and purposes, we started a new contract, basically?
Correct.
All right.
So the total payment that they're requesting is $101,188.59.
But you said that you agree with the mobilization and bonding and insurance, right?
Yes, because what happened at the end of the first contract, they moved all the equipment out, and they had to re-bring all the equipment and remobilize again
Yeah,
for
that
the
makes
second
sense.
contract.
And the bonding and insurance that they provide,
Yes, on the actual pay app, it gives a little bit of an explanation on the costs that they incurred, and then the new costs for bringing out all the equipment all over again.
All right. I guess probably we can recoup some of that.
yeah, I mean, that would be it. But in reviewing it, I agree with Sylvia. I think the mobilization and bonding and insurance is justified, but the increase in project management, I mean, our amended contract, for everything else to stay the same.
So they can make a motion to approve the portion, and then
Yeah.
after further review from legal and Dr. Rivera,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's 65,000 is what we're looking at?
right now
Yes.
for this portion.
So moved. Second.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Rado, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. So you'll bring back the other portions at another meeting. F, discussion action to solicit proposals for child nutrition program that will include a dinner program for the 2020-2021 school year. Doctor?
I mentioned this in the superintendent's report, recommending that we go out for proposals.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Rado, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. G, consideration approval of Lineberger, Goggins, Blair, and Sampson LLP for property tax appeal service.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Rado, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Number 8, the superintendent requests that the Board of Trustees convene in closed meeting as authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. This executive session is in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, for the purpose of discussion, personnel consider appointment, employment, resignation, retirement, evaluation, reassignment of duties. B, consultation with legal regarding pending or contemplated litigations. It is now 7:25 and we are in executive session. It is now 7:48 PM. We are back from executive session. Before we go on, I think there's a recognition. Amber Layton, college class, with Mr. Hassel, education,
1301.
Education 1301.
1301. You want to stand and be recognized? You're taking notes for class, right?
Say a few words,
Good.
Amber.
Say a few words. What would you like to do in the
You
future?
can have this one.
I want to follow my mom's footsteps. Hopefully become principal soon.
How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 17.
Awesome.
All right. Good job.
Very pretty girl.
Good job, Amber.
All right, next item. We're back from executive. A, discussion possible action regarding personnel considering appointment, employment, resignation, retirement, evaluation, and reassignment. Doctor?
You have the list of all the ones mentioned. Recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. B, discussion action regarding consultation with legal regarding pending contemplations.
Nothing?
There was nothing?
No, sir.
All good?
I'm
Rico,
sorry,
good?
distracted.
All good then?
Yeah, there's nothing.
All right, 10, adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.